The moment you start explaining yourself, why you did it, what you meant, what they got wrong, you lose. Every single time.
Most people think when someone misunderstands them, the right move is to clarify, explain, set the record straight. But what actually happens is the opposite. People pull away. They lose respect. They start seeing you as someone who needs to be understood, and nobody is drawn to that.
Here's what most people miss. When you over-explain yourself, you're sending a signal. Not, "I'm honest," or "I care about the truth." The real signal is this: your opinion of me matters more than my opinion of myself. People feel that instantly, even if they can't explain why. And that subtle shift changes how they see you.
Jung believed the mind has two sides. The conscious side, the version of yourself you show the world. And then there's everything you learned was not okay to show. That's the shadow. When you were younger, you learned fast what got approval and what didn't. If you showed weakness and were told to toughen up, weakness went into the shadow. If you showed anger and people pulled away, anger went into the shadow. Those parts didn't disappear, they just went underground. Here's where it connects. When someone implies something negative about you, the shadow gets triggered, an old wound quietly touched, and your mind reacts before you even think, because somewhere underneath there's a fear. What if they're right? Jung observed something uncomfortable. We defend most aggressively against the things we secretly fear are true. That's why the explaining feels urgent. It's not about changing their mind. It's about silencing your own doubt. Here's the paradox. The more you defend yourself, the more suspicious you look. Not because people are unfair, but because calm, grounded people don't feel the need to explain themselves at length. They correct things once, briefly, or they let them go. Think about the people you respect most. When someone misunderstands them, they don't spiral. They correct it once, briefly. No heat, no long explanation. Or sometimes they say nothing at all. Not because they're cold, but because they know who they are. When you've actually faced your shadow, something changes. Accusations lose their power. Someone can say something harsh about you, and you don't collapse inside. You think, maybe not, and you move on. Because you're no longer fighting to protect an image. You're grounded in something deeper than that. This is what shadow work actually looks like. Not fixing yourself, not performing confidence, just noticing what makes you overreact, what makes you defend, what makes you need to be understood. Those reactions are signals. They point directly to the parts of you you've been avoiding, and once you see them, they stop controlling you. There's a kind of silence that doesn't feel awkward. It doesn't rush to fill gaps. It doesn't try to entertain. It doesn't panic when conversation slows. This silence is steady. You're comfortable being quiet, and that comfort is magnetic. Most people are uneasy with silence, so when they meet someone who isn't, they feel it immediately. Not as dominance, not as strategy, but as someone who knows themselves and is okay with it. There's a difference between choosing to clarify and feeling like you have to. One comes from strength, the other comes from fear. When you know who you are, misunderstanding doesn't threaten you. It doesn't shake your identity. You can speak or stay silent. Both feel the same. That's the shift. Not becoming someone who never explains, but becoming someone who doesn't need to.